taking too long.
It's yeah, as far as like the training, I haven't seen anything out there like that before.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
and
amazing.
one of my first jobs in the mortgage industry was when I was about 21, 20 years old. And I started working for this company. And at the time, they probably had about 100 employees, and they grew to about 4,000 in the time period I was there, probably about 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So just massive growth, right?
Yeah,
Um,
wow.
and that's a lot of people to get trained up. And
Yeah,
but back then, 20 years ago, they got nothing like to what we have today with the
yeah, really?
technology, the training, so just
Yeah,
imagine, like, the way I look at this is like you got Rudy Kasuma, you're also guaranteed realty, like you got all that info and all the experience
yeah,
that's just compressed down, right?
right.
I mean, wouldn't
It's
it be
amazing.
nice if you can say like, hey, I'll give you $100 if you give me an hour back in time?
Right.
Huh. I mean, that's what you're doing now. Like,
Yeah,
you're giving, like, you're buying time with this. And
it's true. Yeah, it's true. And what's amazing is that by now, but you could still reach Rudy. Normally in a company you wouldn't be able to hear from or get his attention at all.
yeah, no, that's not like Rudy. And that's what makes this whole system very unique. So it's not just information, but it's the type of information, the quality of information,
Right.
and then you layer that into the culture, which we'll just look at you know, the man that's directing it all, Rudy,
Yeah,
and how responsive he is to ultimately serve you guys, you and the
right.
team. So he puts his heart out there, and I know he's really just wants to see everyone successful. Otherwise the system wouldn't work, right? The leads wouldn't work,
Yeah.
because I've heard this from him before. If they invest money into the leads, they're already at a negative. Like the company already lost money. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like puts more pressure. It's good though. It's good pressure, right? You know, I I
Sure.
I like to always look at like the things that I've done in my career is I've always put pressure on myself to perform. And
Yes.
that's exactly what he's doing to
Oh,
pour in more into you. You see what I mean? He's put
yeah.
pressure on, like, because if Steven's not successful, they're gonna lose thousands of dollars.
Yes, right.
and,
Yeah,
and
he's
and and like
gambling.
and like and like Steven, there's no loss, kind of, right? There's really no
Yeah,
loss. So
he's taking
um
the gamble. Yeah, he's
he's taking a gamble.
taking the risk.
So he's taking a big risk. But you know what? When you look at it this way, though, he really knows how to minimize the risk, right? And
Mhm.
that's why the training part is put together the way it is. So
Yeah.
it's like a loan. If I do the loan right, all work up front, then I'm way more successful when we get the process started.
True. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. That's the same as
Same analysis, same
yeah.
thing. So
Yeah, that's
put in that work through that checklist,
oh,
and
man.
I believe your best days are ahead of you. So that's awesome.
I'm sure. I'm
Um,
sure.
all right. Well, we're going to just spend just a few minutes today. And thank you so much for just, jumping online. And people always ask, like, what's different about you? Because think about it, a loan's a loan. That's like saying real estate agents are just real estate. However, part of the training that, you go through at Your Home So Guaranteed is what makes you different. That's why people are going to be willing to do business with you. And also not just do business with you, is like get them to like fire any realtor that they're currently working with, because you are
Yeah.
different. You have something different to offer. And so the question comes up is like, well, what about the mortgage side? Mortgage, essentially, this, we're different in terms of how we do things. We offer the same products as everybody else, meaning we offer FHA, we offer bank statements, we offer conventional loans, we offer stated income, like we offer hard money, we offer loans for fixers and flippers. I've been doing this since 1996, and there's going to be a new loan tomorrow that no one knows about, that will be here tomorrow, that we're going to find out about, and we're going to start doing it too. So, but what makes us real different is how we do the process. Okay.
Hmm.
So, you know, and think about it like this, like as we partnered up with Your Home Sold Guaranteed, then we want to do even more for those agents. Follow
Yeah.
me? Why? Because they're sending us so much business that I need to do more. And so the question is like, well, how do you do more? Well, I'll give you an example. If we need to close fast and the appraisal is getting ordered, if I have to pull money out of my pocket to pay for the appraisal report, guess
Oh
what we're
yeah.
going to do?
Oh yeah.
If we need to expedite this thing quick, we're going to do things that normally most people aren't going to do. So that's why we can make these conditions, and statements, which are performance guarantees. Like, we're going to close your loan fast. Let's say 14, 15 days. You talk to me. Can we close this loan faster so we can beat out the other buyers?
Yeah.
Can we give your client a lower interest rate? So that way, as we get a lower interest rate, we could increase his offer by another $10,000, keeping his payments the same. That's a golden nugget right there.
Yeah.
And win the offer. Are you willing to do that for me, Dave? So
Mm.
I can get paid, so I could put this client in escrow so I can move on to the next one? Because at that point, it's all speed then, right? The faster you do that, the more money you're going to make. So of course I will. I'm going to do way more for the agents at Your Home Sold Guaranteed because I get so much business from you guys. So I want to do more, right? Huh?
Excellent. Yeah.
So
That's
our,
great.
our vision as a team and company here, it's all about elevating people's lives of this generation. And how do we do that? Is we help realtors increase their business by at least 50% or more in the next 12 months through some of the things I just talked about, through our training, through our technology, through just thinking outside the box to get the deal done, to lowering, rates, lowering fees, whatever we have to do to win. That's what we're here for. Right.
Great.
And at the end of the day, just provide that really good client experience as best we can. So, I'll just kind of walk you through a few of these things, few slides here, and then we'll take it from there. So, knowing that you have somebody that has years of experience, and I've been in this industry for a long time, what I realize I can say it's years in experience. It sounds good, but ultimately, does the loan officer know what to do? Does the loan officer know how to do things and avoid things before they become bigger issues, right? And that's the key component to loans, right? It's navigating through whatever gets thrown at us, because ultimately we want to remove that stress that we're solving problems before they become even bigger problems, right? So that way you just keep focused on your next client and we'll take care of the rest, right? And then when we can close loans faster, that means you get paid sooner. Huh? Like, and if we can help you get more offers accepted, like right now, I just gave you that one example, where Stephen, just by lowering the interest rate just a little bit, keeping the payments the same, increasing the purchase price, and getting that client to win that offer when nothing really changed as far as his monthly payments.
That's great. Yeah, that's
right.
great.
So we have that flexibility working with a mortgage broker, whereas working with direct lenders, banks, got a little bit more red tape. And if you know anything about bureaucracy, just having more red tape, it's just like you got more layers to deal with, right? A little bit, a little less, it's just more rigid. So our major advantage too, if we compare us to the like a bank per se, or a direct lender or retail lender, right, is our access to hundreds of products and resources and the flexibility that comes with that. I talked about lower interest rates, wholesale rates versus retail rates, big difference. We deal with the retail rates. We deal with more volume, so therefore our spread on these deals are lower in terms of when you really compare this stuff. So that helps you win more offers. Lower interest rates wins more offers because you're able to qualify for the client more money than they would have going to a direct lender. Make sense?
Yeah.
Like if you had somebody at 5.99%, same loan amount, and we're at 5.4, there's a spread in that payment that now that client's able to go higher on that purchase price and win the offer. And it's also so good when you really need it, like when there's multiple offers on the table and you ask the clients like, hey, would you want Here's a great question. I always like to coach my realtor partners is like, would you want to lose this property over $10,000?
Oh yeah, right.
They're like, no, but I don't want to go any more higher. And like, well, if we were working with this lender over here,
It's just a numbers
Dave,
game.
we can bring down that interest rate, increase that offer, and keep your payments the same. Like, oh, okay. We
Yeah.
talk to Dave.
Wow,
So,
that's great. That's a new one. I hadn't heard you say that in other meetings. That's great.
two times. Hey, I have to say something for you guys to get on these meetings. You know what I mean? Give you something to walk away with.
Love it. That's great. Oh man.
So faster service also is just better service,
Yeah.
But we really have a great system here when it comes to the process. Right now we have, myself, there's 5-6 of us that work on the team. And then we also have a production manager where, they prepping the file as we get the files or double checking the income. In this business, I like to look at it this way. We always have to double check because there's so much involved with loan files. So that way we can get clear to close faster, appraisals ordered faster, you name it. That's what we want to do. That's our goal. We know if we can do that, that's our mission. We know the realtor is going to win more business. We use leverage technology to really fine tune and see who the best rate companies out there, like a system like this, where we can sort out the top 200 wholesale lenders right away to figure out, geez, hey, the client's quoting this and we're quoting this. Oh, maybe we need to move that loan to a different lender. Follow me? So I'll give you some pointers that sometimes I would say if I would create the free, like, biggest mistakes realtors can make, this would be one of them. Okay. When you refer the lead over, the borrower, right, your client, the buyer, would say, hey, Steven, Dave, man, I don't know, like, his process, like, he wants all this paperwork. His process seems harder to work with, because I called up Quicken Loans and in 15 minutes, they give me an approval right there.
Yeah.
I'm approved. And then the realtor says, what? He did that to you? It's like, yeah. See, so that's a big mistake right there, because once we start aligning ourselves with the decisions that they're making, then we're agreeing with what they're doing indirectly. Right. And therefore, you're going to be going into escrow with Quicken Loans, and it's not going to be a smooth sailing ship. It's going to be in rough waters from communication. I'm sure they could be great. But if you're going to start trying to remove loan contingencies, submit good as cash offers, the moment the loan officer finds out, and a lot of times the buyer calls the loan officer, tells them about, hey, remove loan contingencies, they say, you did what? Oh my goodness, Steve, the realtor, he's crazy. And now there's like that fear that, I don't know, Steve's really looking out for my best interest. Yeah. So exactly. Be aware of that. That actually can work against you. So what I always tell, and I'm not just, saying this to say this, but I'm saying it because I really mean it, that avoid removing loan contingencies. Okay. If they're going to use the other lender. Okay. Because like, that's the leverage there, right? And if you do remove loan contingencies, keep in mind, and you submit that offer, what happens is, here's what happens during escrow now, or during the process of trying to get that offer accepted. And that lender now is working against you by saying comments like that, right? They're not working on your team. They're actually working against you.
That's true.
Now, what happens is, Steven, is that when you're trying to negotiate a higher purchase price or better terms to make it more aggressive, because it's been planted in their mind, that borrower that you're working with is not going to be, they're not going to listen as much to what you have to say as the professional.
True.
You see that? It creates that little division between you and the buyer, and it makes it harder to negotiate. That's just to get the offer accepted. Then once you get the offer accepted, it makes your job even a little bit more challenging, because when you start negotiating for repairs, whatever it might be, there's just this little separation between you and the buyer. So I'm not saying that because just trying to get all your business, which I am, but at the same time, I'm serious. I truly mean that. Like, it does work against. So what I find is that the top producing realtors that I work with, selling on real estate teams, 50 houses a year, they understand that. And so they don't want to take the risk of the buyer, of that happening with the buyer. So they don't even try to attempt submitting that offer without the contingencies, right? And they use that as leverage, saying, hey, I got a lender that can strengthen this offer, make this offer stronger for you. And we can make this offer as good as cash. And if we do that, I'm pretty sure the seller's going to accept your offer. And they say, okay, you know what? We tried it my way. We tried it using my lender. But if you're telling me that this is going to make my offer better to get this house accepted, then I will drop my lender like a hot rock. You ever held a hot rock in the middle of the desert before? All right.
Yeah.
Okay. They drop them so fast. I don't care who they are. You know why? Because what's more important to them at that point is the house. It's the house. Tell me what I got to do to get the house. Right. They don't want to hear that before, but when you talk about it, when it's about the house on the line, it literally is that situation. So, we also pride ourselves. The reasons why we work the way we do work with Your Home Sold Guaranteed is because the business that we do receive, right? Yeah. So check this out right over here. I didn't make these numbers up. UWM is the #1 largest purchase lender in the country. They've got 25,000. They've got 25,000 brokers at Your Home Sold Guaranteed. Probably about 80,000 loan officers all combined, right? The average at UWM, okay. This is I'm going to tell you our unique selling propositions now, right? I just went over the top 200. Here's another one. The reason why we're faster, because sometimes people ask that question. I'm like, how can you be faster?
Yeah.
Right. So check this out. This is from UWM. So we get deals done faster, right? We get average of the date for the appraisal to receive is 4 days. Okay. Where the appraiser actually receives when we submit the offer and we submit all the full package to the lender, it's 4 days. Okay. And then they start the process. Whereas the average loan officer broker, there's 25,000 brokers, probably 50 to 70. I don't know how many, what's the count of the loan officers there? A lot.
Yeah.
9 days. So what we do is when we just do more work up front, we do a better job up front, then we can do a better job through the process, right? I've been doing this business such a long time. I've thousands and thousands, and no one wants to be, in the weeds, trying to get all the weeds out and, it just makes it a very rough transaction for all parties. But if we could do a boatload of that work ahead of time, it just makes a smoother process for all of us, closes loans faster, better experience for the client. And I like to go over this with them too as well. Like, hey, here's the benefits of using us, right? Here's what other people do. It's the same thing pulled right out of your scripting. We copy that. We also have by me copying this ultimately edifies you even higher. It's like, that's exactly why I wanted to, why I met Steven. This is why I decided to use Steven. This is it. And now the lender's telling me the same exact thing. And then I'm edifying you even more about, like, Steven's a fantastic realtor. He finds off-market properties, because I know your scripts inside and out. I'll be like, he does, the bank foreclosures, the company properties. He knows how to find these hidden deals and beat out other buyers to the best new listing. So that way you can take advantage of that. Save you money, blah, blah, blah. Right. So I know your presentation, the team here that works with me, same thing. So when it comes to loans, I was talking at the very beginning, we all have the loans, right? The loans today may not be the loans tomorrow. It's just constantly involves guidelines changes. Just know that, like, if we can't do the loan, there's a pretty good chance that no one else can do it.
Good.
So if the client says anything like, hey, this guy can't do the loan, you could side with him. Really? Or
Yeah.
you can be like, look, Dave has over 200 loan products. I'm positive he looked at it like this. Well, what? Let me turn it upside down. Let me flip it around. He looked at it every way he can. And if he can't get it done, what did he tell you?
That's
Well,
great.
he told me that my FICO score, I need this. Okay. Why don't we work on that first? So I can go work on my next client. And while you work on that,
Yeah,
I'll be
right.
back and I'm gonna go work on this other client. And then you work on that and we'll be ready to go.
Before we embarrass ourselves in an escrow, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Great.
what I'm really doing is like protecting. We have to protect ourselves, right? Same thing. If the client called me up about like Steve's this, Steve's that, I was like, what? Never heard of that before about Steve. I'll be like, this guy's he's awesome. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like he's the guy for bank foreclosures, or he's the guy to buy you $1 million home, whatever that they're looking for. So I'd call you right away though. I'm like, hey, did you know this? You need to call him up, take him out looking at houses. So
Cool.
yeah, it's all about the team. It's all working together as a team. We're just part of the team here.
Yeah, that's
So
great. Awesome.
so Rudy's posted some stuff for you in the workplace. Anyways,
Yeah,
exclusive waiver options. We got appraisal waivers. We got all that good stuff. Basically, we're looking for ways to save the client money any way we can. We got direct access to appraisers out there. The other day, appraisal report came in $10,000 short. I literally made a phone call, typed up a few words on a piece of paper, got the appraisal to make the adjustment to increase it by $10,000 so the buyer didn't have to come with that $10,000 difference. We fixed it within hours, right?
Wow.
So it's about fast, right? Speed, faster. That might be my next one on that Wednesday meeting or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But so we're always looking at ways to kind of shave things off, make things faster. Here's one of my best things out there. Okay. It's called your customized loan experience, customized rate locks, customized flexible terms, meaning we can get the rates down to thousandths. Okay. Whereas most are in increments of eighths. And I'll give you an example. The difference between 5.99, I can go down to 5.98. It's not going to make a huge difference on payments, but when you can do that by 30 to 40 different basis points, it makes a huge difference. Meaning like 5.99, I can go down to like 5.69. Whereas most lenders can't do that. Most lenders have to go from, they don't even offer 5.99, right? And if they do, they got to go an eighth down, right? So let's just get round numbers, 6%. They have to go down to 5.875. Well, that difference right there, we got room to increase offers to get the rate down just a bit more to help you win more deals.
So you work with the agents during that time to do that?
I work with the buyers. So here's what I tell you got to keep me in the loop of where things are at in the offer. So I don't expect you to know all this stuff, right? That's my job, to be the expert. All I need from you is when you submit the offers, you include me in the offers. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll give you some tips here. When you do submit that offer, if you don't hear back a response where they're not jumping through the phone and like chasing you down, just assume the offer is not good enough. Just assume it. Okay. And then your second step to that is you call me. You say, hey, Dave, my buyer, you got him qualified for 500. We need to get his payment. We need to increase it to about $10,000. I don't, because you may not know, but just assume you don't have it. So $10,000, we can figure out. Let me see what I can do to, adjust the terms to get you at 510 without blowing up this deal where your client's still going to accept it. I can do like a customized loan rate lock. I can do a customized term on it. I can do all sorts of stuff, right? To help you. So when I call the client up and says, hey, we need to go over some of the payments. And I can be like, your payment right now is $2,800 by with this percentage point or in this rate, if we drop the rate just a little bit, this is going to give you a little bit more room to negotiate with, and maybe even win that deal. And then you call the client up and says, hey, I got some great news. We're really close. We're real close. We just probably need another $10,000. I don't know. And they're already like, yeah, let's do it, Steve. Like, come on. I just talked to Dave. He says, all I have to do is he's going to help me out on the interest rate, and you're going to help me win that offer. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Think about that. Okay. Now, what about, sometimes you're not earning your full commission. You want to make more money per transaction?
Right. Of course.
Okay. Good. Because that you're in the right place. You're at the right company. Okay. Because
awesome.
Your Home Sold Guarantee doesn't teach agents on how to lower the commissions to sell houses.
Right.
Okay. That's a total commodity. That's like saying, hey, everything's based on price, not value. Your Home Sold Guarantee teaches, trains, coaches, and it's just part of their plan and system is how to create more value, right? So that same analogy I just gave you right now is, what if you're coming across a deal where, it was 1% in the MLS, right? Seller's not willing to cover the compensation. You're going to learn more about this. Seller's not willing to cover the compensation. By the way, I recorded this so you can go back to this, because this part you're probably going to want to save for later. Okay. And you're like, man, 1%, like I try and negotiate, and it's like, I want to make at least 2%.
Yeah.
Or whatever that $10,000 can be. Maybe that $10,000 is 2%, right?
Yeah.
And so just imagine this same scenario now, and you're like making 1%, and you call me up, and it's like, Dave, is there anything we can do so the client is willing to pay me the 2%, but we need to build it into the loan? Right. Same scenario. I look at the rate again. I said, maybe we just lower the rate just a little bit, increase the purchase price by $10,000. And then through that, you're getting a credit on there for, from the buyer, right? Because we're tying it in, or sometimes we have to raise the rate a little bit, or whatever we need to do to make it all work. So that way you can get compensated for the deal. So give you an example, like if you increase the purchase by $10,000, and then you just call the client up and says, hey, I need closing costs on this thing. It's not, there's a little strategy on how to do this, by the way, right? There's certain steps that we do first before I make this call. Okay. So basically the step is like when they tell you, you're getting the offer accepted, I'm signing it right now. Okay. Like, great. We just need some closing costs in there. Oh, I can't give you the closing costs on this price. No, I'm just saying if we increase the price by $10,000, can we get $10,000 back? It's like, I don't care. Yeah, absolutely, man. We're going to go with your offer. And you're like, great. So you see what I just did is we increased the purchase price by $10,000, dropped the rate a little bit so you can get paid more.
Excellent. Yeah, I heard Todd Walters do that in his presentation. That was great. I love that.
Yeah. And that's what we do, is we help you try to just, capitalize on, with your clients out there. So that way, at the end of the day, you just make more money. So just a few other things here. It's transparency. We let you know you'll get updates and stuff like that throughout the process. Once you get the deal in process, we also have online portals as well. So that means, when the client is going through the process, you'll be notified. I took an application, through email, through text. It's very automated. So don't think I'm sitting there and typing up these emails all day long. Love to look busy, but I'm not like that. But it's automation, right? We just leverage technology to keep that communication going. So, but that's how things kind of work around here. And
beautiful.
I got to jump on another call right now, but I talk most of the time. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Same thing with you, Doreen. Any questions? I'm here for you guys. Anything that's related to the real estate. If you're, I know we all have these amazing team leaders, but hey, I'm an extension of that. I've been involved in real estate mortgages for a long, long time, and I've helped other realtors win big too. So I'm just here for you guys. Whenever you guys need me for a resource, just don't hesitate. Okay.
Thanks, David.
All right. Have a great day.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Bye-bye. Sorry, Doreen.
It's all right.